I went to Curtis when Curtis was a high school back in 1976, a long time ago. It was the last year Curtis was a high school. All the freshmen from Finger went to Curtis. It was a long time. A young lady was shot and killed there like in 75, 76, 77. I forgot when, but like she was shot and killed back in the day in the Curtis building while we were changing classroom a long time ago. Yeah. The point is, where does those children from Curtis Elementary School in the hood learn values if they don't get it from home?
If they don't get it from home, I feel like Wisdom Lives Here has a responsibility. Those principals that are in the school have a responsibility. Those teachers that are in school have a responsibility. Everybody that comes in contact with these children have a responsibility to teach them the values that they're not getting at home, or that other people, for whatever reason, they're not able to obtain somewhere else. We have a responsibility. If you're getting paid to be with children, to do things for, to educate them, then we have a responsibility to educate them morally as well, because some of them won't learn. And I did say that was a child. There was a child sleeping on that bench.
There was a child. Wow.
And I'm gonna say,
I can't show the child, but it was sleeping on the bench.
At least it was. I thought it was a young lady.
I thought it was an old man.
Right. Yeah. And I'm gonna say the people on the block got to do it.
Oh, it is a community issue.
But the village is corrupt though. The village is defensive.
That's okay. We go fix the village. We go fix it. That's what we got to do.
When I was growing up on my block, the parents and the people on the block, elders, everybody was responsible. I'm telling your mother.
That was back in the day. That's 100 years ago.
Go bring it back.
You're gonna bring it back.
The nosy neighbor syndrome needs to be bought back. I appreciate those neighbors who didn't allow us to get away with stuff. I appreciate them.
But you know why I stopped? Because you crazy mother said, you don't tell me how to raise my son. You come to me. Don't tell my son. Don't spank my son. Don't hit my son. So here we is, 40 years later with this drama.
I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you. I wouldn't say that if my children were if I'm not around and my children are doing something and you can save them from getting in trouble and doing all kinds, because when they get home to me, they're gonna be in trouble. I'm gonna deal with it.
But Charlene, in defense of them, like I'm gonna be honest, I got an 18-year-old daughter too, and when she was 16, I didn't want the neighbor putting their hands on them because I don't know if the neighbor is high. What state of mind in there? Back in the days, you didn't have to worry about that. I'm saying, but back in the days, you got to whoop it up the street.
I'm not talking about spanking them. I'm not talking about spanking, because everybody's idea of spanking is totally different. I'm talking about in terms of, hey, just jumping in and saying, you know what, hey,
that's what I'm saying, the trust level.
You know what, even if the person is high, if they have enough sense to say to that person, stop doing what you're doing. You got people who out here who get high, who got enough sense to say, put that gun down. Why are you trying to shoot these children? You got enough people out here who are doing that.
Charlene, but do you think the public schools should teach values in the public schools?
I think values should be brought back into the school. We took a lot of stuff out of the schools.
Now, don't bring prayer back, because if you bring prayer back in the school, I'm going to go completely.
Nah, you go ahead.
Me and Mark Sims going to go through the roof. Okay?
Look, I'm saying whatever it takes to make it work.
I don't mind values. It's like your daily living habits. That's safe. That ain't talking about Jesus or anybody else.
Right. No religion. Right.
No religion, but just values. So you can teach values without religion. People say, why would you? But that's why you go to church. But when you come to my children, don't be whipping that religion on them, because I'm going to go completely bonkers, man. You want to see me go off.
I don't subscribe to religion. I'm a believer. I don't subscribe to religion.
But you know, that's why you don't. Yeah, right.
I don't force
it's like Tom Cruise's wife. She left. She didn't want, the kids learn Scientology. So she said, I got to get out of here. Well, I understand it, but the bottom line is that, how do we help these women give their children values where you value chastity and frugality and don't play loud music and you got to get the best grades in school? How do we change that paradigm in a low-income, destabilized neighborhood?
We're going to stabilize the neighborhood, and as we do that, we're going to have a relationship with the ladies, and we're going to encourage them. We're going to link them to professionals who can help them.
But the hard part is that you and Charlene, everybody else out here trying to help people who don't want to be helped.
I don't believe that. No one wakes up desiring to be a loser.
I say they don't desire to be a loser, but there are people who refuse
in the current state
to take help, and it comes from changing the mindset of the thinking of people. You can't go and take over somebody's camp unless the person that's in charge has been first taken over. So what they do is they break down leadership, and then they come in and they toss all of this stuff over here. This is what you can have. And what the community of, I say the black community has to do is wake up and see that what we're doing to our children is we're ultimately destroying them. But
like I said earlier, people don't know no better. You talk to folks and you ask them, I know they ain't got no money. I'm 2 paychecks away from being poor. But you know how they say around, you have folks that never been out of Chicago. I know folks, grown folks, never been to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, ain't but 90 miles. When I'm saying it's not about Milwaukee, all they know is Inglewood. Right. All they know is the West Side. All they know is Roseland. So how do we help these people to say, listen here, save a few bucks and get the hell out of Chicago and see the world?
Well, as a responsibility for Life for Wisdom lives here, I'm teaching these young girls how to go beyond where they're at. Exactly. So when you have those people, when you say nuggets,
right?
You got those nuggets, and you got people who have these camps, and these people who are doing these things in the neighborhoods that are keeping these children off the street. Those very nuggets are very valuable because they take these children outside of the community and they expose them to different things. And that's why I was saying that, to me, the camp where I'm at, I think that these the concept is grand because these children want to come there. They want to come there. Why? Because they're not getting something at home and they getting it there. Right. And they're able to go outside of their boundaries. They're being taken and exposed to different things that they wouldn't necessarily be exposed to if they stayed at home.
I know, but it's like you say, we have people, you could be quote unquote poor, but it don't cost. I was telling young people, this is show going to air in August, but the Bears camp is like in July and early August. And I tell folks, take your kids to the Bears camp. And that's only it's in Bourbonnais. It takes a few dollars worth. Let's say it's going to take you $20 in gas. Yeah. 30 at the most. Yeah. And you drive to Bears Camp, it's free. At least you go to Olivet, Nazarene University, you go to Bourbonnais. It's a little ride. It's a few hours outside of the damn hood, people. How come we can't do that?
Who's going to hold a hand to help that person do that? Sister Charlene won't be intimidated by the trip. But you got those who've never done that before and they need someone to be a layer of support.
Well, that's where the churches come in. That's where a lot of folks come in.
And the churches do that very well. Whether they singing out of town.
I'm saying to help people who are not a part of the church.
Exactly. Do it on the block versus
and that's true because if your church is in that community, I think you have a responsibility to that community.
Exactly.
So I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
You have kids, they be 30 years old before they take their first airplane ride. Now, I'm not suggesting everybody should go on an airplane because flying sort of scares me, but it's really fast. I was
20-something when I took my first flight.
Wait, say that again?
I was 20-something.
Where did you go?
I went to Atlanta.
Why'd you go down there?
For a job that I was doing.
It was a job interview?
Yes.
So they flew you?
I went down there for an organization I was working for here.
So did they pay for the ticket?
Yes, they paid for the ticket.
Oh, you didn't pay. Okay, cool.
I didn't pay for the ticket,
right? You were 26 first time you got on an airplane.
That's
right. 21.
No, actually I was younger than that. I was 19.
Okay. What's your first trip then?
19.
On a plane?
My first trip that I paid for?
Yeah. Well, that doesn't matter. Yeah, go ahead. On your plane, yeah. Parents.
The first trip that I paid for, I went to Florida. I took my children to Disney.
Oh, cool. Yes. They went down to Disneyland? That's cool. Disney World in Florida.
I was 19 when I took my first trip to Atlanta.
Okay. Wow, you were 19. But you know what? But you know what? The point is that, and some kids will giggle at the children, other students who haven't never been on the plane, and people feel bad. But that's not the point. I know grown folks who are 45, 50 years old, and never been to New York City or Washington, D.C. Right. How do we break that, Charlene and Syron? How do we break this thing? Well, like I tell folks, this is my pet peeve. Hopefully Barack Obama wins the presidency again. And if he's president for another 4 years, we should take a pilgrimage. And I mean, it ain't about Barack Obama. It's getting your children outside of Chicago and seeing New York, D.C., Philly, all the whole East Coast, if you can say it, see it. And also, some men have never been, this the mosque over here, you can barely see the mosque. They ain't been to D.C. since the Million Man March, and what was that, 1995? Okay, well, I'm saying, so how do we encourage people to go to D.C. and New York and see the East Coast? It's not that far.
Well, we can start coming together, having these little trips. You can rent buses, and go. These
you can fly to LaGuardia for $100 though. Come on, people.
You can. But some people are afraid of. Some people are afraid of flights. So for those people who are afraid of flights and they want to drive, and you can see more, you get more land to see.
But
see,
you got
what I'm saying, but I think the people, what I'm saying is about inspiring people, because we only got a few more minutes left. The show is over. We're only a few miles away from, you can catch the Skyway over here on Stony Island. We're on Stony Island right now. You can catch the Skyway. A lot of folks don't know you can catch the Skyway, and that's how you get to Cleveland. 6 hours away. That's how you get to New York. I know it's 14.
Right.
You go to New York, and I have an iPass. The same iPass you use on the Indiana Toll Road, and the Ohio Turnpike, and the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and all the bridges and tunnels in New York. You still use that same iPass here from Chicago, and I've done it. And people need to go. We need to inspire folks to say, I know folks, you never been to New York? You got to go to New York. You got to go to D.C. It's not about New York, D.C. It's about get the hell out of Chicago and see something different. How do we inspire these young people to go?
I've never been to New York, and I've never been to D.C.
Wait. Say that again.
You went with us to New York, didn't you?
No.
I've
never been to New York, and I've never been to D.C. Oh, yes. Well, no, I haven't been to D.C. I've been to other states.
Maryland and stuff like that?
I've been to, no, I've never been to
Maryland. We got to get you to D.C., baby.
I know. I need to, I really want to, I really want that for my 40th birthday. How about that?
You ain't that old, so stop.
Right, exactly.
You stop that. You never been to New York? You got to go.
I have never been to New
Okay,
York.
inspire Charlene as we inspire the audience.
Nah, Charlene gonna make it. She gonna be in Miami. I ain't worried about Charlene.
But inspire.
She already inspired.
But inspire.
We just gotta close the deal.
Folks to take a trip to New York and D.C. Come on.
What I want to encourage is the churches to let's put some money up so that we can lower the cost even more so that we give people no excuse they can be traveling and going places.
And but what I'm saying, they can do it, but we spend it on gym shoes and pizza and Chinese food.
But we got to put the incentives there, I think, to make it.
I agree. No, because I say this. I agree. A lot of people spend their money on frivolous things.
But,
we don't need
taking them on a trip, even though they might not be focused and they spend it on foolishness, that trip to New York might change their mindset. So we might have to make the investment up early to trick them to New York. But after being there, they're going to say, man.
But you know why people go to Disney? You know why people go to, I know people have never been to New York and D.C., no offense like Charlene, but they've been to Vegas and Orlando. Because they know why, because everybody goes to Vegas and Orlando. Well, I don't know, no color folks. Oh, wait, Charlene, you've been to Vegas,
I've
right?
Been to Vegas. I've never been to Vegas. I've never been to Vegas.
Wait, you never been to Vegas? I know all Negroes have been to Vegas.
No,
I'm shocked.
This is one that has never been to Vegas. I've never been to Vegas.
I know all Negroes been to Vegas, but you been to Orlando.
I've been to Orlando.
See, I know all Negroes. I know everybody know been to Orlando and or Vegas. Okay.
Well,
I've never been to Orlando.
Wait, you never been to Orlando? But I thought you went down to Sanford too.
Yeah, we didn't go there.
You didn't go. You didn't go. You went to Sanford, Florida, but not Orlando.
But we drove. I'm talking about Disney World. You went to Disney World. I never been inside.
You've been to Orlando. I know you've been to Orlando. Yeah.
Well, I drove through there.
I've been to L.A. I've been to Seattle. I've been to Portland.
How you like Seattle?
It was nice, but it was raining.
Yes, it's cloudy all the time. Right? But no, it really is more clouds and rain. It rains just much more here. But see, the Pacific Northwest is beautiful. The whole point is that we got to inspire these young people to say, don't worry about it. Because the last time I went to New York 2 years ago, the plane ride's like $100, people. I said, you can spend that on pizza. You spend $50 on pizza. Come on. Right. So how do we inspire these young people to say, don't be intimidated? Because that when you go out on the road, you see folks who are more self-actualized. I know that. But they say they be dressing all bummy. We make fun of white folks. They dress all bummy, whatnot, and they got number money in their pocket. Because you know what I'm saying? So we got our priorities mixed up. So we got to have a plan. Let's end this show by inspiring people to see the world outside of the neighborhood, because it's gonna make us a better
But
people.
It's gonna take those organizations who come together, who get these nuggets of children to expose them to different things. And guess what? When you start exposing these children to different things, they'll start telling their friends, and now their friends are gonna want to come. We had to shut down because we didn't have enough room for all of the children. And that's another thing. You know, people are opening up their doors for organizations who are doing these things. You can, not for profit, I mean, you can donate the space. If you have the space, you can donate the space to these organizations so that they can do this.
All right, okay. People can call you, right? I didn't talk too much. The show is over.
Yeah, I mean, 312-405-8844.
And we're fine. I put the number up on the screen while y'all talking and whatnot. All right, that's cool. All right, bye-bye. I was, the conversation is so good, I just, I forgot the show was over and whatnot.
Well, it's still early. So.
Yeah, all right. Show is over.